Today I want to talk about when you should learn or start to learn a new programming language. So first off, I just want to say that, there's no magical heuristic or rule of thumb when to learn a new language. If you feel like it, that's a perfectly reasonable justification to learn it, just for fun. But one thing is, if you're starting off, I would recommend that you get decently comfortable writing something in your first language, your language of choice. So I started off learning Python, and when I got comfortable at work doing a lot of automation things, I started to branch off into JavaScript. Now that I'm at my new job, I've been very much so delving into a lot more statically typed languages like Java and C++, and I find it a lot of fun. But one great technique I can say is the things that you could do in your first language or languages that you're good at, make sure that you can kind of copy that pattern in your new language, because it serves as a good basis for kind of conducting projects, experimenting, and learning the kind of the details of your new language. So for example, if you're learning Python and you easily know how to open a file, close a file, do I/O, so input, output, maybe read an Excel spreadsheet, write to the Excel spreadsheet, maybe make an HTTP call or request from an API. Try to do those same things in a new language. So for example, the transition from Python to JavaScript, I found out through Node.js how to open a file, close a file, and kind of do those I/O manipulations. Now that I'm learning C++, I've been doing a lot of things about learning how to use the time library, how to use the cin and cout property in terms of input, output, and doing more complicated projects. And besides projects too, another great technique that I've heard from another tech YouTuber, Clement Mihalescu, is if you do a lot of competitive programming or programming interview questions, if you feel very comfortable in one language, it's a great jumpstart to learn a new language, just doing programming interview questions that you can do and know at like the back of your hand in that new language. Because each time that you get stuck, just search on Google or Stack Overflow the exact data type or part of the language you need, and basically the corresponding value. So for example, in Python, how you create a list, you might have to do some research in C++ to find out, oh, it's a vector. You're looking for a dynamic array, then you use a vector. But that's basically the whole the process. Through your new language, just experiment, learn, search constantly. Something doesn't make sense, or you don't have a feature from your old language and want to learn it in the new language, just engage in that research process and it'll come easy to you. And start off with small projects. So for C++, for example, a small project I did to kind of broaden my learning was create a home loan or mortgage loan calculator that I saw on Google. And then my second project, which was a little bit more difficult and I'm still working on, is working on a countdown and stopwatch timer. So it's another thing I found on Google, and I thought it would be pretty cool to do in C++. The added extra layer of complexity or detail I wanted to add to this more recent project was actually making it a graphical user interface. So again, you always want to kind of ramp up the difficulty of the project as you're learning a new language. But again, when should you transition to learning a new language? Anytime you want, but just make sure that you have some medium where you can practice and experiment, whether it be programming interview questions, building a small web application or software project. Make sure you always challenge yourself, and when you have built something tangible, you'll see those results kind of build up and further. And you do a little bit less of motion of trying to collect all the research, and instead you start building. And that's where the real skill is built, especially in terms of new languages. And it's something you can add to your software portfolio. So that's all I have for today, but thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Cheers.